I'll wait for some of the people to come in the room. I had more blackberry bushes than I thought I had once I got outside and looked at everything. Just waiting on spring, which is months and months away. Lots of blackberry bushes. I didn't get a chance to go on the other side of my property and look at the raspberry plants, but I think they're going to be fine. Uh, Once they get going, they're pretty much like a weed. They just keep popping up wherever they think they need to be in the yard. But I'm saving a lot of money, that's for sure. I got all my seeds I need now before the weather get warm and everybody and their mom is thinking about gardening. And when that happens, that's when they have no flexibility with the price on anything. Let's see. I have all my heat mats and everything is all set. I am going to purchase one thing, and I think I'm going to hit the dollar store for that. Excuse me. I like to start my seeds in bulk. And that being said, I like to put them in a container and with a lid that's clear, um, and allow for it to be a very constant temperature and also moisture to be maintained. Um, so that's where I'm at with that. Um, and so I don't know if I'm gonna do that all with containers, or I'm gonna do it with "Hello, how you doing?" All right, all right. Some people came into the room and they actually made their presence known by posting something, and I like that. That's a good deal. And also thumbs up. Thank you very much. Thank you. Um, so peppers, 6 weeks. I'm going to start them this year. 6 weeks before the last frost, and they're going to be done in an environment where I can control a lot of the temperature and get them up and get them good and solid plants, so that I'm not. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Oh, three thumbs up. And so growing my own plants is a plus. Making my own soil mix is a plus. All that's going to be done, it will save me tons and tons and tons of money. I love doing that. And then I'm going to also produce uh, quite a bit of seeds this year for storage because I'm tired. I'm tired of this is my old comfortable around the house shirt here. I like this sweatshirt. I won't get rid of it. Old lady wants to throw it out and everything, but it's just so comfortable, like an old friend. But um, the thing about it is saving the seeds, growing healthy plants, um, and I got so many ideas going through my head, so many ideas going through my head about what I'm going to do, as opposed to um, what I did last year. Because last year I did a very good job in not digging all through my soil, and I don't actually allow myself to dig all in my soil. I just make an area just for that plant, and I fortify that hole with my special kind of um, uh, amendments, if you will, and that is what I do. And the plant has got to take care of itself. But my soil, the way I fertilize my soil, is I start in the winter and I grow a bunch of grass and weeds in that area. I let them grow, and then I chop them down and I let them lay on the surface. Now, if I really don't feel like messing with it and I really want it just to do its own deal, what I will do is allow for the weeds and the grass to fall down as it gets colder. That way, I'm not chopping anything. I just let it fall down. And what will happen once it hits the ground, the biology, even though during the colder months, the biology is slower in the soil, it still is enough activity to break down what's on the surface. And I've been doing this for years, and the soil just kept getting better and better. So I said, now why not let the weeds and the grass help you, as opposed to looking at it as an enemy or it's an ugly eyesore. Um, you can cut them down with a lawnmower. You can chop them down with a weed trimmer in fall and allow them to lay on the surface, and then they'll try to come back in the spring, and you could hit them again with the lawnmower because they're going to be small enough to, about that tall. You go ahead and keep at them, keep cutting them, and then I take my plants. I do a small little hole over the area where I'm going to be working, maybe something that's 8 inches by 10 inches deep. And I go ahead and put my plant in, depending on if it's a tomato or if it's a pepper. And I add an amendment to that hole. And once I add my amendment and my fertilizer and everything, I'm done. I water it in. I water it in with uh, human urine, because that I want my plants to respond. I don't want them waiting to eat something from the fertilizer, waiting for it to break down or waiting for whatever. I want to get an immediate reaction from it being fed. So I water it in with the human urine, which is a mixture is 1 part to 10 parts water, 1 part urine, 10 parts water, and that's what I want to do. And when I add that in there, my plant will immediately respond. Um, So you do a good watering in with that, and don't worry about running out of urine. If you do about the size of my garden, which is 40 feet by 50 feet. Let's say 40 feet by 50 feet. That's my largest garden, and then I got another little side gardens that are out there, second and third garden. Um, so once I do that, I water it in real good, but I always try to keep at least when the weather starts changing, I start saving when I start really heavily saving urine, maybe 3 gallons of it. And that'll do me the whole year because remember, you're only doing 1 part to 10 parts water. And that's how you're going to do that. And you can actually measure it out if you want to. Me, I kind of eyeball it, but I make sure that it's thinned out enough or diluted enough is a better word, so that it doesn't cause any problems. Because urine is so freaking good. I mean, it just it causes so much green growth to your plants to size them up, to cause the leaves to be definitely stronger, the stems to be stronger on the plant, and that's what I do. And then when they get to the point where they start blossoming, blossoms start to develop. I pull back on the urine on some plants. Only plants like peppers and tomatoes, because I need it to blossom. I don't need it to keep growing with all of that nitrogen, because nitrogen, I'm gonna get a lot of green growth, but not as much fruit. So that's just what I do. That's what I do. Works for me. Um, and that fertilizer, again, as I said earlier, is totally free. I also have my pellet stove back up and running. Um, 50,000 BTU pellet stove. And so when I use that pellet stove, um, it creates ashes. And the ashes is all I want. I want just a small amount of ashes to. If I want to continue on using the urine, I can add just a tiny bit, like about a teaspoon to a gallon of my mix. When I mix it down, a teaspoon of the ashes, and once I do that, it allows me um, to use that as a additive to the urine, and that way I get the phosphorus I really want. Because I'm trying to up the phosphorus so I can develop more blossoms, and that's all I'm doing it for. And plants like watermelon plants, cantaloupe, that I need to develop some blossoms, to get them up and going. I use it. I use that method, and it works. So that's how that works. So I'm good. I mean, it's a little bit of hard work once you get them up and going, but once you get familiar with the process, you can do it year in and year out, and you'll know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Okra, I have a burgundy and I have a spineless okra that I'm going to be using, and I'm putting most of the burgundy is going to be grown for seeds, because I need to get the seed numbers up. Because, like I said, I bought those seeds to produce more seeds. Um, that is like 30 seeds there. I think I paid like close to $3 for them. But I said, okay, I'm gonna get probably this year maybe a few hundred seeds from that, and then from there I'm on a roll. So some years I might say I'm gonna do burgundy okra on this side and spinach on that side, um, and just and always keeping seeds of each, and so that's how that's gonna work. Right now, I'm heating my entire house right now with a pellet stove on the lowest setting, producing again a fertilizer with the ashes. Um, and that is helping me out because, you don't use a lot of ashes. And it's helping me do what I have to do to bring some food in this house. Because I like to eat from my garden. I'd much rather eat from my garden. Okra is so good, and the only fruit I've ever really grew really well was a baby watermelon. All other watermelons, for some reason, I haven't had much success with them, but I'm still doing as much study as I can and find out, what are some of the people here in Maryland doing, which is my location, to grow melons here, because um, uh, it's a different deal. They're producing hundreds of melons. They're farmers, and I need to find out what is their methodology for growing melons, because they grow them just like that. They're not even sweating any of the small stuff. So I need to get some of their material that they wrote up to tell you how to grow here in Maryland, or or basically get understanding about what is it they're doing that will help me in that area. Um, but you know, Sugar Baby is in my opinion, 56 years of age. That's my age, and I have grown melons, but the sweetest one I've ever grown was that Sugar Baby. It's got absolutely proper name. It does. The melon wasn't as small as it's supposed to grow. That's what really got me because they say it's supposed to be icebox size, but it really a lot of it has to do with what you're doing, and I'm feeding it just pure compost. I'm actually, and I have a tool that I use. I inject my. I have some videos up. You can go take a look at some of them if you choose to. But I inject my fertilizer in the ground. Excuse me. I inject it into the ground. It's a very unique tool that I have that I use that I inject the fertilizer in, and I, and I do that because it's fun. For one thing, it's fun doing it that way, and but to see the plant jump when you do that, um, yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I'm just thinking. Um, 'Cause I just thought of something here. I want to add my lime this year to my soil mix for my containers instead of um, adding it each um, bucket at a time. I want to go ahead and add it during the soil mix when I'm mixing everything into what I need to do. Oh no! This year I did not get any fruit. The following year, the year before that, I did get some fruit. Um, Here's what's going on. The the kiwi plant is, and I still have it. Well, actually, I have two. They had one that was marked down at the end of the year. It was like $1. I'm not gonna pass it up. So I bought it, and I didn't really want it. I said, "Damn, I don't want this." But I said, "I'm gonna give this thing a chance to live." And so I paid $1 for it because, like I've been saying to all of you that catch my show often, if you catch my show often, um, I bought. I buy like grapevines. Uh, one thing I think I'm gonna get a hold of is a fig. I'm gonna get a fig just for hell of it. Everybody keeps saying figs. I've never eaten one. Well, yes, I eat one. I ate one years ago when I was a kid, about 7 years old maybe. Didn't like it. It was mushy, and I just wasn't used to that kind of taste. But so here's what's going on. Uh, Kiwi used to be starting the show in my yard. One of the stars of the show. It was one called Isaiah Kiwi, and that is the one that I like because I got it, and it took a long time to get it started. I mean, it kept dying. It kept. I mean, for some reason, and it's weird. You've got a lot of plants in the ground, and cats will come up and they'll go to pull that stuff out of the ground. They did it to me 4 times, and I put cages around it and everything. They were trying to dig under it. It's something about the smell of that plant that makes a cat want to roll on top of it to take it off somewhere. Because he took one plant and he took it somewhere. And I'm saying, wait a minute. Okay, I got okra growing out here. I got collard greens. I got corn. I got tomato plants. Why is he after the kiwi plants? So I did a little research, and it said that cats will damage or pull up the kiwi plant, something relating to the scent of it. Why? I have no idea. But so finally, I got it in the ground, and they pulled it up again, and then I was left with one little small piece, about like that big, and I said, "That's it." I spent $12 on eBay purchasing this plant, and it's dead now because um, the cats keep doing whatever they're doing to it. So I can't have a peaceful day. So I brought it in the house, put it in a pot. This was years ago now, and I put some urine on it. Uh, like I said, it was sickly, so I didn't want to push it. I said 15 parts to 1 part urine. And once I did that, I left the plant alone and it started shooting out leaves. So I said, okay, this plant is going to make it. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I started getting cuttings off of it and I started producing more of the plant. So it was a it was a good thing because I now wasn't about to lose my plant, my investment. Now I'm back down to one plant because I just kept that one, and it's now a big burly plant that's in the ground. It's got all woody stem and everything. And I put a wooden ladder that was about 10 feet, I think about 10 feet tall, and I let it just wrap all over that. So that's what I did. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, and all of your family. Thank you very much. Um, but it's not the star of the show anymore. I think the star of my show now is my grapevine because I bought one off of a company that's called um, oh, I can't think of the name. It's a tree company. Stock Brothers is the name of it, and they have a grape on it called that's messed up. It's a green grape and it's a big grape. It's supposed to be known for its growing a large seedless green grape. Let me see if I can Google that real quick there. Look up that thing there. Yeah, it's supposed to be let's see, Stock Brothers, and the grape is a if I could find it here, it's a berry plant. You look for under berries. I looked at a lot of what we call these plants, and I'm gonna tell you something, folks. Them plants that went out. Them plants, everything that they say is a sale. I don't know, folks. I'm not used to paying an arm and a leg for plants. That's all. That's all I want to say on that. I'm not used to paying an arm and a leg on plants. So I do sometimes kind of gripe about when I see prices outrageous because I know how they get these plants. All they're doing is growing up from cuttings, and they put a lot of work and effort in that part. But they're getting the money up front, so you're not really saving anything. You're trying to buy these plants to save some money. Now, the name of the plant, I'm looking at it right now, and this was sold me on it was the picture. So a lot of this uh, gardening stuff is part hustle too, because this picture looks so good. It's the biggest white grape according to them, and it's $13.99. I'm looking at it now, and it's called a Neptune seedless grape. And I'm gonna tell you something. Um, I bought it, didn't want to do it, and then you got and plus you got the shipping, so it could be more than that. But once I got it and I grew it, I got cuttings from it. I started more grapevines from it because I wasn't playing around. I'm not gonna lose that plant because something goes wrong. So I have one, two, three, so a total of four of them now. I can make as many as I want of them right now because this year actually um, I got to get up there in that part of my property and take me a whole bunch of cuttings and then start me a whole bunch more of these grapevines. And it's gonna be easy. It's so easy to start them. All you do is take if you got a flower pot that's out there, maybe you grew something in it and you decided, okay, I'm gonna fix it up next year, but you don't have to fix it up for the grapevines. You cut, and you stick them down in there and leave them. And when the spring comes, they'll start leafing out on their own. Some will die, some will survive. You fertilize the soil a little bit, give them a little something to eat, when the spring comes in, so that they can leaf out a little better. Or it's going to produce your own. But you put it like this: you can develop so many plants that you actually start selling them. But make sure that you careful because of copyrights and all that kind of stuff. They actually have copyrights on some of this stuff that you try to make $1 million off of it, and they see that you sell them. Hey, send me a plant, and all they want is some proof that you're copyright infringing on their copyright. But yes, but the plant is incredible. So you can make as many as you want for your property and eat what you want off of the thing. But when you start selling it to someone else and make money off of their labor to create that plant, then you got other issues going to take place. Um, but that being said, and in another, wait a minute, let me go look at this. I'll be right back. You're gonna be surprised at this. Okay, now this here is um. Now I want you to look at this. Tell me which one of you can see the price there. Can you see the price? Just tell me if you can see the price. Anyone at all? Or maybe they can't see it. Now can you see it? Anyone? This is called a reliance. Okay, thank you. You can see it too much. Okay, there you go. Somebody else said it is 698. Now, this was, I believe I did this last year or the year before that. Anyway, this is what they want for this. Now keep in mind, I can make these cuttings all day for nothing. Once the grapevine grow out, you just cut, make little 8 inch pieces like that, and stick them in the soil and forget about them and let it rain on them, let it do what it's got to do, and you'll have a whole bunch. I mean, a lot of grapevines. Well, a whole bunch of them. Now, this is a Reliance, non-GMO, full sunlight, harvest summer. These are summer type grapes, the harvest in the summer. Now look at the picture they put there. That make you want it. Now I didn't pay this for it. Happy holidays. All right. Happy holidays to you as well. All right. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. Gardner and the family. All right. All right. Let's go. Good to see you. Good to see you. But and so you buy this and it says soak the plant in water for a few minutes prior to planting. That's always a good thing. Give it a good drink. I usually let it sit for a few hours and then I know it's hydrated. Let's see. Plant in well drained soil. Yep. Don't put it in a way it's going to get wet feet. Most plants uh, don't like to be planted in just wet mud. It'll stay that way every time it rains. It'll just be muddy. Okay, so dig a hole large enough to put the plant in basically and the root ball into the hole and then it's and about 1 to 2 inches below the surface as to combine peat moss and soil. Oh, they want you to dress up the hole a little bit. Okay, oh, so I didn't know that. I was all the time just sticking it in the ground and it grew fine anyway. Okay. I, but I got to start reading this information because sometimes I've been doing this so long that I go, all right, needs to go into a well drained soil. Okay, where am I gonna put it at? Okay, over there where it's a lot of sun. All right, and that's okay. Then once I plant it, I inject uh, fertilizer right in the hole. That's what I do. And I used to get my grapevines off to a big start out of any of my neighbors because what they'll do is and it's fine. You can let your grapevine go for itself and do its own deal. It's fine. Me, I go over there about 12 inches off of where the stem is on both sides. I go bam, about uh, uh, I add a quarter of a cup, depending on the size of the plant, because I got a pretty good size grapevine. And when I put that on there and feed that plant, boom, it just go crazy. And that's a feeding for, I feed enough to last it for about 2.5, 3 months. And so it's gonna put out all of this growth and all of this these clusters. And then what I go in and do is I look at because it could be a ton. It's gonna overproduce like crazy. And you go over there, and if you got one branch of the grapevine that's got say about 8 or 9 clusters on it, I cut them all down to about 4. I go to the other side. It's got 8 or 9. Cut it down to about 4 or 3 or something like that. Because what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to improve on the quality as opposed to growing a whole bunch of little teeny little grapes. I don't want that. I want them to get about like this and start. And so that way I get a much more high quality piece of fruit. The other thing is the professionals that grow for big food chains like giant food grocery stores and that sort of thing. I'm just mentioning them because the first thing popped in my mind. Um, that type of they use a hormone to grow a really big grape, and they don't talk a lot about it, but that's what they use, and that's why sometimes you go in the grocery store, you see huge grapes. I mean, by God, they look like golf balls because they're not playing around. They need a big grape because they realize consumers want big grapes. Um, and but I stopped buying grapes from the store because I keep buying them, and before I had my own grapevines, I kept buying them, and what happened was they would you would be eating and eating, and nothing like getting near the bottom, and you start seeing mold on the grape. Mold, believe it or not, mold. And that's not too appetizing to me when I see that. I'm like, oh my God, I was eating mold. And so um, I said I'd grow my own grapes and started researching and learning how to grow them. And next thing you know, I'm growing grapes. I'm growing grapes. Every year, every single year, my grapevine, some years I don't even want to eat my grapes. I let the birds have them. But there are times when I want the grapes. So what I do with the grapes is if I feel I want them, then I start going over there and start dealing with, hello, how you doing, a backyard garden? Hello, I'm glad to see that you stopped in, and I hope you enjoyed your holidays. I'm doing mine solo. My holidays are just completely solo. Um, but at any rate, well, actually, I'm not doing it solo. I'm doing it with you guys, and that's always a plus. That's always a plus. Um, so what I'm doing now is I am um, growing my grapes. I'm eating quality grapes. I like that. I like to have a meal and take the grapes and wash them and refrigerate them and have nice cold pieces of fruit while I'm eating my meal at the end of the evening, and it just feels great. I mean, really high quality food. That's what I like. I like that. So that's just my deal. I'm just you have to excuse me when I do this. Sometimes I'm just thinking. The raspberries, I want to find a way to produce more of them. And I felt like if I prune them back halfway, uh, and I'm going to have them bush out this year as opposed to just growing long shoots. I'm going to go ahead and produce those bushy. Because what I did with my blackberry plants is that I let them last year. I just didn't put it like this, folks. There's so much going on my property. Every single thing on my property is something to eat, and that's what I wanted was a food forest. I did not want um, to be growing just beautiful plants here, but I also learned I'm going to have to incorporate some of them in so I can bring in more pollinators, and that's no problem. I'll do that. But uh, what I'm thinking here now is when I grow my blackberry bushes, instead of growing the long 10 and 16-foot shoots that eventually go over, bend over, and touch the soil and create another plant, I said, what I'm going to do is start cutting them off at about 4 feet high, um, and allow them to bush out so I can produce more blossoms, which equals to more berries. And that's what I want to do. Thank you, sharing that they had. That's a great tip. My company. Oh, okay. Congratulations. Yes. Right. It's just a wonderful thing to grow. And I'm gonna tell you something. I love my raspberries. God, they're good. And I got them from Walmart. I think I spent, I want to say $1.79 because I'm really cheap when it comes to buying plants. What I do is wait for the end of the season. When I see um, when I see people, 'cause here's what happens, right? Spring comes in, everybody, you sort of flocks, and I see them in lines, and they all drove around, they're buying and spending tons of money, and they only get like one or two of these, and it says $14 and all of that. Um, and so what I do is I just wait, let them go ahead and do their thing. I just wait. And then when it starts getting into the summer and then it starts leading closer to the fall, give me that, give me this, give me that. That's what I go in and do. And I get them for $1 a box. So that means I get the grapevines, which this one here I got for $1. Um, I got three of them. I think I got three. Or was it two? I think it was two. But now I have as many as I want because all I do is I just grow them. And I got one planted right next to a tree, so I wanted to grow all up and through the tree. Um, what the heck? I said, no big deal. I'm not going to lose anything over that. I'm using the tree as a scaffold for it to hang on to. Um, so that's what I'm doing. And then the other one is going to be on a 12-foot steel rebar. And that's what I do. See, I grow all my grapevines on a single trellis system. Excuse me. So I can start one here, 2, 3 feet over here. I can start another grapevine. 2 or 3 feet over here, I can start another grapevine. I can do different varieties. That's why I want to do that. So they're growing, and yeah, they'll wrap around each other, and you just clip, 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 clip. But they're like a lollipop in a sense. This one is grown on its stem, on its rebarb stake, and this one over here is grown on its rebarb and stake. And so when you do that, they're different varieties. If you want to grow a Thompson, and you got the Reliance growing, and and Neptune, yeah, that's how you do it. Oh, you got your cutting. Oh, that's even smarter. That's great. That's better than buying it for the dollar. That's how you do it. I'm proud of you. That's how you do it. But that Neptune of mine is and I tried to grow. There's a grape called it's at the grocery store. It's a red grape and it's huge. Um, I don't know. I want to say a green. It's a red something, and I can't remember the name of that offhand. But it's that grape that's just. That's it. Globe, globe grape, global. Yeah, that's it. Oh my God! I found a lady rather, online that was selling them, and I ordered it and I looked at it and I put in. It says find out whether or not they got this like this little tool that tells you whether or not if you're in the right zone. And I'm in zone 7, and it say from zone 7 to zone whatever, and I was in zone 7, so I was so close to where it's cold at. Each year I lost one. So I stopped messing with that plant. I said, stop. It just won't grow in this area unless I bring it indoors and all that. And I'm not doing that for any kind of plant. I'm not doing that. I just refuse to do it. But yeah, the globe. And the plant is expensive. Like something like when I bought it, it was like $21 plus the shipping. And to get that, and then when I called them back and told them that I had issues with it, it died, they said to me, "Didn't you read the instructions? And didn't you?" And they would give me a hard way to go. And I was like, "Oh my God, it wasn't like that with Stock Brothers." Stock Brothers said to me, "Oh, your plant died. Oh, okay. All right, we'll send you another one." And it was like that because they would much rather keep you happy than to have you doing videos on their company. Because there was one I did years ago. They sold me hundreds of dollars worth of plants that died, and every time they would send them in the mail, it was all dried, and it would be in the mail for like weeks because they use the slowest standard mail is what they use, and they would just leave them in there. They would come here dried up, and I would stick them in water, try to revive them. Sometimes I was successful, but majority died. They sent me one time was so bad that it just looked like the trees were as small as an ink pen, and they were about 2.5, 3 feet tall, completely dried from the roots to the top. And I videotaped this. I videotaped it. And when I videotaped it, I put their name out there. I put what happened. I put how long I was buying from these people. I said it was horrible experience. And I had to have somebody talk to me because I kept going back to them because the trees were like $10 and some change. And it was called, oh God, is it Summer Stone Nursery? That's what it was. Summer Stone Nursery. I took their name and Googled it, and it came back. It showed all these unhappy customers, hundreds of them. They were turned into the Better Business Bureau and everything, and they just kept surviving because what they would do, and they're still around today, by the way. I don't know what name they're under now, but they just kept changing their name and coming back out. Um, Horrible. They'll sell you. You'll tell them, "I want a Granny Smith apple tree." They will send you a tree. If it's not dead, if it's not in bad shape when you get it, when you do get it to live, it may not even be an apple that you wanted. I put 4 apple trees out there, and all 4 of them, when they got to 3 years old and they produced apples, they were crab apples. They were not um, the Fuji I wanted, the Honey Crisp I wanted, or the Granny Smith. None of them were. And I got one of them out there now and I kept because my neighbor said, "Don't kill it," because he didn't want to see it die. But I cut all the rest of them down and did them and put in what I wanted, and I got them in Stock Brothers, and they were the right trees. Oh, and by the way, they were big, thick, burly trees when they came here. They were big, thick, burly trees, and of course they were close to $30 a piece, but it was well worth it. And there was somebody on live chat that hit me up one day and said, "You need to try Stock Brothers." And that's when I started buying from them. All right, good people, this is the Morning Garden. I want to thank you all for tuning in. This is yours truly, and I'm going to go get ready for work. But I thought I'd spend some time with each and every one of you on this beautiful holiday. And I want to thank you for tuning in. And this is the Morning Garden. And remember to keep on growing. Thank you very much.